So first of all, very good afternoon to all of you, and we can start our second activity. So this is the uh, stages of the activity, which is being designed for the International School Award 2021, and the project was reduce and recycle. This is the first activity, the survival to key. This is the topic of the activity, and the four stages were selected for this activity. The data interpretation, which is being done by you, pairing and sharing activity in this, which what we are going to do today, and the third activity what we will perform will be the poster making, and finally we will celebrate International Day of Climate Action. Okay, so I have suggested you to collect some of the data, and the four groups were prepared like this: the Germany, Sweden, and Mexico and India, where the group leader were assigned like Germany did, Sweden was represented by Sasha, and Anna Agrawal was assigned to Mexico group, and Pearl was assigned for India. They collect some of the data, how the waste management process is adopted in all these countries. Now they are going to compare with respect. So I request Chaitanya to continue.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Chaitanya from grade 7th, and I'll be representing Germany. Sir, is my screen visible to you?
It will appear, but you just share. It's uploading.
Sir, I have shared. Yeah, I have shared.
Yes, continue.
Yeah. On the topic, reuse and recycle, the key to survival. Description about Germany. Germany is officially the Federal Republic of Germany, is a country in Central Europe. It is the second most populous country in Europe after Russia and the most populous member state of the European Union. It borders Denmark to the north, Poland and the Czech Republic to the east, Austria and Switzerland to the south, France, Luxembourg, Belgium and Netherlands to the west. The nation's capital and largest city is Berlin, and its financial center is Frankfurt, the largest urban area in the run. Germany is a great power with a strong economy. It has the largest economy in Europe, the world's fourth largest economy by nominal GDP, and the fifth largest by PPP. As a global leader in several industrial, scientific, and technological sectors, it is both the world's third largest exporter and importer of goods. As a developed country, which ranks very high on the Human Development Index, it offers social security and a universal healthcare system, environmental protection, and a tuition-free university education. Germany is a member of the United Nations, NATO, the G7, the G20, and the OECD. It has the fourth greatest number of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Moving on to our first topic, which is the types of solid waste generated by Germany. Between 325 and 350 million tons of waste is produced in Germany each year, with construction and demolition waste, including road construction, accounting for 60% of their waste, while municipal waste counts for 14% and hazardous waste for only 5%. Amount of each type of waste produced per annum in Germany are the municipal solid waste, which is the MSW. It is produced 47.9%, industrial waste, which is produced 52%, and the household waste, which is produced 41.8%, and the biomedical waste is produced 2.9 million tons. Now, amount of solid waste recycled per annum. So the Germans recycle 66% of their trash, and this is the data according to the researchers who have compiled their data from official sources and adjusted the numbers to account for different countries' methods of measuring. This statistic shows the recycling rate of municipal waste in Germany from 2009 to 2017. The recycling rate of municipal waste in Germany was slowly increasing over this period, accounting to an estimated 67.6% in 2017. So in 2019, the amount of solid waste was 63.1, and then in 2010 it increased by 6.5%. At 2011, it is 63%. 2012, it was 65.2%. 2013, it was 63.8%. 2014, it was 65.6%, and 2015, it was 66.7%. In 2016, it was 67.1%, and finally in 2017, it was 67.6%. Now, this is an additional topic which states that why Germany is called the recycling champion. So Germany is hailed worldwide as a recycling champion. So recycling is nearly a national pastime in Germany. There's a blue bin for paper, a brown or green bin for biodegradables, a yellow one for plastic, and a black bin for the rest. Additionally, Germans return their deposit bottles to the supermarket and drop glass bottles at public collecting points. Germans are proud of their recycling system. Even children's books spin the tale of the colored bins. Indeed, the nation is celebrated as a recycling role model around the world. When Germany introduced its recycling system with the green dot as a symbol in 1991, it was unparalleled. Today, 29 European countries, along with Israel and Turkey, have adopted the green dot system, which companies pay a fee to finance the collection, sorting, and recovery of packaging waste. So if you can see, these are the three deposit bins, and here if you can see, these are the stickers, not stickers, this is actually called the green dot symbol, and it has become an international symbol. Now, methods adapted to recycle and reuse the different types of waste. So, less plastic wrap produced, more recycling done, away with plastic straws and cutlery. Germany's Environment Ministry has issued a plan to make the country less of a throwaway society. Environment Minister Svenja Schöll on Monday announced a plan designed to tackle levels of plastic in Germany and beyond. The plan includes reducing excess public plastic products and packaging, making packaging and other products more environmentally friendly, using more recycled materials, and reducing the amount of plastics in biowaste. The Environment Ministry also called for more international commitment to reduce sea garbage and to find more sustainable uses of plastic. With these measures, we are reversing the trend in use of plastics. Schöll said in a statement, "We produce far too much plastic in a consumer and throwaway society." Now, this is a plan proposed by the Ministry of Germany, and it is the 5-point plan. So the first, there are 5 steps, and that has changed, there has drastically reduced the plastic waste production in Germany. So the first step involves avoiding unnecessary products in packaging, which means that the Environment Minister gave the example of a banana, which comes with its own biodegradable packaging, namely like a banana skin, that will have to suffice in future. Second, making packaging and other products more environmentally friendly. Companies will be encouraged to do this via new licensing rules with less environmentally friendly packaging, incurring larger fees. More recycling stations. The government aims to increase its plastic recycling targets from 36% of total waste to 63% by 2022. Fourth, preventing plastics from getting into organic waste. This would also improve the quality of compost. People will be encouraged to make more care when separating their trash, a common practice for years in Germany. International efforts to limit plastic waste at sea. Increased German aid donations are foreseen to this end, specifically to clean up the 10 rivers that are thought to account for 90% of the plastic waste in the world's sea. Unique and eco-friendly methods of recycle and reuse of solid waste. First, the green dot, a symbol. The green dot, German dual system of the waste collection and separation, was introduced in 1991. The goal of this dual system is to keep recyclables as long as possible in an economic cycle by high quality recycling. It is no wonder that Germany boasts the highest recycling rate in the world. The rate for municipal waste rose from 56% in 2002 to 67% in 2016. This goal was achieved so fast that Germany ended up reaching like the 2020 target of increasing the recycling percentage for municipal waste 4 years earlier. Overview of the German waste management system. Unlike in most countries where localities have a trash bin and a recycling bin, Germany has a multiple color-coded recycling bins to guide its citizens to sort the household garbage themselves. This is where the infamous German efficiency truly shines. In short, recycling starts at home. By pre-sorting the recycling, the German government saves a significant amount of money, resources, and time. This process also reduces the amount of contamination that can potentially ruin entire batches of recycled material. This feat currently wasn't achieved overnight. With time, it became an inseparable habit in German households and in fact a matter of pride today. Moving on, color is the key. So this is basically an introduction to the color-coded garbage bins that you can see everywhere around Germany. You may notice that the color of the bin itself may differ, so the color of the lid is the key. In most big to mid-sized cities, there are 4 different bins in almost every backyard. In the countryside, you may have to drive to a recycling plant to find these bins. Only certain types of waste may be thrown into each bin. Yeah, so this is a picture of the color-coded garbage bins. Now, the slides here, starting from here, are the description of what the garbage bins are representing. Yellow bin or bags. Lightweight product packaging, meaning all packaging which are not made of glass or paper, belongs in the yellow bin or bags. This includes plastic packaging, Tetra packs, packaging with plastic in front and cardboard on the back, spray cans, boxes and tins, screw tops, polystyrene, film and plastic bags, pet food packaging. In the absence of a yellow bin at your house building, you have to put plastic waste into a yellow plastic bag. Moving on to the next color, which is the green or the blue bins. So all packaging made of paper and cardboard, newspapers, magazines, waste paper, paper bags, pizza, cartons, etc. belong in the blue bin. If your packaging consists of paper and plastic parts, throw only the paper of carton and paper or the carton of the packaging and not the plastic wrappers inside the box in the bin. And this is a point where people often confuse that juice and milk and cartoons of the Tetra packs. So don't confuse these juice and milk cartoons of the Tetra packs are paper waste. So they go in the yellow bin or the yellow bag. If you don't see a blue bin at your house building, you'll find one around your neighborhood. Also, this is something that every German does, that they flatten the cardboard boxes before putting them in the bin. This way the bin won't fall too fast or it won't overflow. Now, moving ahead with the brown bin or the bio waste. Here goes all compostable kitchen and garden waste. This will include vegetable and fruit peel, vegetables, salads, eggshell, leftovers, small burns, fish bones, and the leftovers of meat, bread and cake, coffee, tea bags, rotten food. If you're lucky enough to own a house with a garden, then you can dump all of this into a compost. Biological waste makes up almost half of the total garbage produced in Germany. And this is the last color of the bin, which is the black or grey bins. This is where the rest of the waste goes to be incinerated. Garbage that does not fit in any of the above categories can be disposed of in the grey bins. Ash, cigarette butts, unwanted household objects like hairbrushes, frying pans, porcelain, textiles, and nylon stockings, tissues, extremely dirty papers, vacuum cleaner bags, and you name it. Now, moving on to another unique method, which is the glass weight. So the German glass weight is also sorted by color. There are different slots for depositing green, brown, and clear glass. You'll find these bins dotted over every neighborhood or near supermarkets. This includes wine bottles, jam, preserve jars, oil bottles, and etc. Before dumping the bottles in the bins, the people check them for a profound small, which is basically this small symbol. So if you see one, then you can take it back to a store and get a refund fee for them. Okay, now moving on to the conclusion of this slide, the rest of the rest. So at last, we are now left with the rest, meaning the stuff that did not fit in any of the above bins. The German garbage disposal system had a plan for these leftovers as well. Items like batteries and acids, cans with leftover paint, etc., has to be treated as hazardous waste. For that, you'll be receiving a notice from a local town council or when and where the truck collecting this kind of waste will be. And you need to bring your stuff to the site from them to dispose of it in the proper manner. Okay. So this brings us to the conclusion of the information. The German waste management system can be used as a role model for other countries, but care must always be exercised when imagining the programs, policies, or technologies employed in one country in place in another. The complexities of culture, legal systems, topography, history, geography, geology, economy, demographics, legislative, and regulatory processes resolves. Thus, the results achieved from Germany's solid waste management policies may not be reflective of the results that would be achieved upon implementing a similar program in a different country. However, the above notwithstanding, much can be learned from examining integrated waste and materials management programs in place in Germany. Thank you. Now, moving on to the comparison data. So, the comparison data, yeah. So, the first point of my comparison data states that Germans are well aware, but in India we can generally see there's a lack of awareness. So people are not aware that how to dispose of garbage, how to manage their waste into different bins. Now on the second point, it says waste segregation is mandatory in Germany, whereas in India people do not even bother to make the most basic dry and wet and waste segregation. So a lot of Indian cities do not know what to do with their waste. They have still not learned to manage their waste. So many petitions, many legislation, many committees, and many rules later, we cannot see anything has changed. A legislation came for our benefit, but it was not implemented. For example, I'd like to give an example of Delhi, which is the capital of India, has miserably failed in managing its solid waste. So basically, if you look at waste management in India, overall, there is about 62 million tons per annum of garbage that is produced on an annual basis, which is roughly 1,41,000 tons per day. Coming down to Delhi, amongst the metropolitans, it is the highest generator. Somewhere around 11,000 to 11,500 tons of garbage per day is collected or produced. So, I feel in terms of painting a picture on processing and disposal, I think this is the worst model that exists in the country and contradictory to the fact that it is the capital of the country. Also, now there are not enough public bins, and they are even divided into 6 different containers for each type of waste. It is even mandatory to close the bins to prevent overflowing of waste, as well as it is asked to fold and pack the cartons or cardboard materials before dumping them in the bins. There are not enough public bins, and the available bins are not even covered, and in many cases, waste overflows out of those bins and ends up going all over the streets. While transporting vehicles are not even covered in many cases, which also causes littering of the streets, many citizens in India recklessly litter the streets too. Also, the Indians do not segregate their waste adequately, particularly things like syringes, sanitary materials, sharp broken glasses, or that is mixed up and thrown away in the waste. And also a point to be added that municipalities in India have to really up their game. And in India, the only littered thing is in the streets are the banana leaves or the bowls made of dried leaves a few years earlier. Those kinds of litters were not that harmful as they were biodegradable and could have been eaten by stray animals. But in India today, what is mostly littered is plastic, and in any society, it's not easy to bring a quick cultural change. Thank you.
Okay, very nicely. These all information has been collected by your group, Chaitanya. I really appreciate your effort,
Thank you, sir.
and and I I I just wanted to know whether anyone else wanted to say anything from your group, or is that all from your part?
So that's
Is
it.
there anyone
It's on.
who else who wanted to include few points from your group?
Sir, I can ask Sumera for that if she's prepared.
Okay, Sumera, would you like to include few points, beta?
Sir, I made this, but I don't make it in drawing.
You can you don't need to share anything. You just you just include the points what you have prepared. Otherwise, we'll move to another group.
Sir, I think we should move to another group.
That will be better. Okay. All right. So I'll request the Mexico group leader, Ane Agrawal, to present
Yes,
the
sir.
information collected uh, for the
Please,
release and discussion.
please inform me when my screen is visible.
Yes, of course. And I'll request you to summarize the information. Okay. Don't elaborate the whole PPT. Okay.
Sir, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Try to maximize your PPT.
Yes, sir.
Try to maximize your PPT.
You can do
Uh,
that full screen. No?
yeah, you can do the full screen also.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, if it is also good, you may carry on. Yes, you can continue on it. You can minimize this one. Very nice. Go ahead.
Hello, hello everyone. I am An Agrawal from grade 6, and I am going to be representing Mexico country of how they deal with their waste. L- l- So let's start. Description about Mexico. Official name: United Mexican States. Official language: Spanish. Has over 66 Indian languages. Currency: Mexican peso. Territory: Mexico covers an area of 1,964 1,964,375 kilometers squares, of which 1,959,248 kilometers square is land area, and 5,127 kilometers square where insular surface in this territory should be added the exclusive economic zone of the territorial sea, covering 3,149,920 kilometers square. So the country's total area is 5,114,295 kilometers square. Border: the Mexican Republic has borders with United States, Guatemala, and Belize over total of 4.301 kilometers distributed as follows. Population. Mexico has a population of more than 120 million inhabitants. Government. The form of political organization in Mexico is that of a representative republic, democratic, federal, composed of free and sovereign in all matters relating to their i- internal government, but united in a federation. Border. The Mexican Republic has borders with types of solid waste produced, m- and the waste produced is called municipal waste. Municipal solid waste, commonly known as trash or garbage in the United States and rubbish in Britain, is a waste type consisting of everyday items that are discarded by public. Garbage can also refer specifically of to food waste as in a garbage disposal. The two are sometimes collected separately. Total waste produced. Mexico's Ministry of the Environment and Natural Resources estimates 53.1 tons of garbage are generated annually in the country. Total waste recycled. Yearly 53.1 tons of waste is produced and 7.965 tons of waste is recycled. Total waste reused. 5 5.53.1 million tons of waste is produced in all of Mexico annually, with 14.9 million 14.9 million ton that could be reused. The lack of infrastructure and regulations in the country has made it difficult to implement a new initiatives method adopted to recycle and reuse different types of waste. Mexico generated uh, Mexico generates 12,920 tons of garbage every day, enough to fill the elec- as as its Saka Stadium, the largest in the country. Half of this waste is produced in homes, and almost 90% ends up in sanitary landfills, severely impacting the health of the people and environment in the city and the region. Landfills also emit methane, a, a, pot, a potent greenhouse gas accounting for 5% of global emissions. Things that are thrown away after not being consumed or used, such as rotten food or single disposable items such as plastic plates and food trays, also represents a waste of energy. Mexico is making an effort to recycle more waste. Collection is a system emits a lot of greenhouse gases by itself. 2,400 diesel powered garbage trucks circulate the city every day, collecting 4 tons of waste daily. The city is pursuing two technologies to deal with its waste: bio waste management and thermovaluation, which transforms organic waste into energy. Unique and eco-friendly methods of recycle and reuse of solid waste. 1. Reduce. Buy only what you need, because a better way to reduce waste is not creating it. While recycle may be a buzzword for an environmentally friendly way to manage waste, a more comprehensive approach to doing so is summarized by the 3 R's. Reduce, buy only what you need, because the better way to reduce is not by creating it. Number two, reuse. If you have to good, if you have to good acquire, if you have to acquire good, try getting used once or obtaining substitutes. Recycle. When discarding your waste, find ways to recycle it instead of letting it go to landfill. Current disposal methods threaten our health, safety, and environment, and pose additional indirect costs to society. Most industrial, commercial, and household waste is now being placed in landfills or surface impoundments. Waste treated in this manner may contaminate groundwater, rivers, and streams. When waste is burned, it releases hazardous gases into air and leaves toxic residues in the form of ash. These hazardous waste byproducts find their way into humans and animals in one form or another. Conclusion. With an increasing spread of impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on an economics, development, and health outcomes, there is an urgent global call for waste management from household, medical facilities, and toxic waste to be treated as essential public service. This will, in effect, mitigate affect the message, the the potential threat uh, pandemic on environmental sustainability and health outcomes in line with the United Nations Environment Program of ensuring sustainable waste management guidelines for containing the spread of COVID-19 through waste management include treatment of residential waste, tissues, handkerchiefs, and similar organic and packaging waste in in creation plants at a temperature near 1000 degrees Celsius to ensure safe and complete destruction of virus. Environmental treats due to plastic pollution attrib- attributable to unsustainable use of single-use plastic owing to the global adoption of personal protective and equipment such as face masks. Future research should aim at developing biodegradable and environmentally friendly protective gears, including face masks, gloves, overalls, among others, to accelerate and accelerate the agenda towards achieving sustainable production and consumption while reducing environment costs. Thank you. Now, now let's come to the comparison between India and Mexico. So for comparison, let's start with how Mexico deals with its waste. How does Mexico deals with its waste? Mexico City generates 12,500 metric tons of municipal solid waste per day, and it has reduced the amount of going to landfill to 5,500 tons throughout the recycling program, and by diverting 1,023 tons of waste into energy and converting 507 tons into compost. Another major factor in the reduction of waste going to landfill is the Mexico City government's agreement with Cemex, one of the world's most largest building material suppliers and cement producers, to deliver up to 3,000 tons a day of a solid waste. In Intergenic fraction (SWIF) for use as fuel in their kilns. kilns. Thus, the SWIF, having been separated from materials suitable for immediate recycling, like PET, aluminum, glass, and metal, what would end up in landfill if it were not sent for co-processing. Now, how does India deals with its waste? Waste management in India falls under review of the Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change (MOERF and CC) in 2016. This ministry released the Solid Waste Management SMW rules SWM rules, which replaced by the Municipal Solid Waste Management and Handling rules, and 2000 of which had been in place for 16 years. This national policy plays a significant role in the acknowledgement and inclusion of the informal sector waste pickers into the waste management process for the first time. India generates 62 million tons of waste each year. About 43 million tons, 70% are collected, of which about 12 million tons are treated, and 31 million tons are dumped in landfill sites. With changing consumption pattern and rapid economic growth, it is estimated that urban municipal solid waste generation will increase to 165 million tons in 2030. Conclusion: Mexico diverts 1,023 tons of waste into energy, and converting 507 tons into compost. But however, in the process of making energy, they burn garbage, which does a lot of air pollution, which is not good for the environment. And India, on the other hand, just dumps garbage and wait for it to become compost, and it does not pollute unless you go near it. Then all its surroundings will be stinking, and there will be flies, mosquitoes all around the place. So, for according to my calculation, in the way of thinking and smartness, the point goes to Mexico, and in the way of making less pollution, the points go to India. Thank you.
All right. Very good. Very nice. Very nice, Anay. your team has collected so much information related to the waste management process of Mexico, and as well as you have compared with the India, and you try to claim that yes, the Mexicos are doing well as compared to India.
Yes,
We
sir.
will, yeah, okay. We'll go to the next group. There is Sweden, and for that, I just wanted to know whether Saksha is able to represent a
Yes, sir, I
PPT
am.
or not. All right.
I am.
So are you going to share your PPT?
Yes, sir. Just inform when visible.
Okay, okay. Saksha, try to summarize the whole concept,
Yes,
okay?
sir. Yes, sir. Sir, is it visible?
Uh,
Yes, it is.
it is visible, but it's not look good. If you allow me, I can share your PPT, and time to time you can remind me to change the slide, okay? That will be better.
Yes, sir.
All right. Stop sharing. All right. Give me a moment. Once the PPT is visible to you, please report me, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it
Sir,
your
it is
slides?
visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Good
You
afternoon,
can,
everyone.
yeah.
This is
I'm sorry to interrupt you. You can start, beta.
yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Saksha Patel from grade 7. And as I have assigned for Sweden, so let's start. So you can directly go to description about Sweden. Yeah, thank you, sir. Description about Sweden. Sweden is aiming for a zero waste society. This takes the country recycling revolution one step further. For dumping rubbish in landfills to recycling to reusing. Sweden is not only saving money by replacing fossil fuel with waste to produce energy, it is generating 100 million USD annually by importing trash and recycling the waste produced by other countries. The United Kingdom, Norway, Ireland, and Italy are willing to pay 43 USD for every ton of waste that Sweden imports to this end. Sweden has no long had a can bottle and depot system that gives people money back when they recycle. Since 1984 for aluminium cans and since 1994 for plastic bottles, each year Sweden recycle 1.8 billion bottles and cans that would otherwise be thrown away using the so-called plant system. It even has its own verb in Swedish. Only 4% of Swedish garbage ends up in landfill according to Swedish waste management. So you can change the slide. Okay, thank you, sir. Companies are joining the effort with unique recycling programs in Sweden. Sweden's laws make producers responsible for costs related to recycling or disposing of their products. For instance, a bottling company who sells plastic bottle of pop in stores has to pay the bottle collection and recycling disposal cost. The water bill in Sweden has incentivized some companies to be protective. Sending trash to the landfill is the last report in Sweden. The people in the country understand sustainable living can simply mean less is more. So you can change the slide. Okay, thank you, sir. Recycling in Sweden. 50% of household waste was turned into energy, and 85% of bottles and cans was recycled in 2017, as 90% is the government targeted. 69% of all packaging was recycled in 2017, and there are some sources of Swedish Waste Management Association. So you can change the slide. Now here, as my team has collected some information about types of solid waste management by Sweden, I will be taking the important points. That is, most households in Sweden separate its waste into the following fractions, like for the food waste, packaging of metal, plastic, paper and glass, newspaper, electronics, tires, batteries. Important steps to be increased reuse and repair goods are currently taken. So you can change the slide. Amount of each type of waste produced per annum. So Sweden, a country of 9 million people, generates 4.5 million tons of municipal waste a year. Of this, 2.4 million is combusted for heat and electricity, and 0.6 million is treated biologically. To produce biogas for vehicles and fertilizers for agriculture, the balance 1/3 is recycled. Barely 0.6% of waste goes to the landfill. So you can change the slide. Amount of solid waste recycled per annum. Sweden's recycling rate is high at 49.8%, but it has been flattening since 2006. It is ahead for the UK's recycling rate, but not dramatically so as considerably less than the Wales. The amount of energy generated from waste alone provides heating to 1 million homes and electricity to Sweden. Recycles at outstanding 99% of locally produced waste. So you can change the slide. Amount of waste produced per annum. Only 1% Sweden trash is sent to the landfill by burning trash. Another 52% is converted into energy, and remaining 47% gets recycled. So you can change the slide. Thank you, sir. Methods adopted to recycle and reuse the different types of waste. So by burning trash into energy, Sweden provides heating to over 1 million households. Only 1% of Sweden trash is sent to landfills. By burning trash, another 52% is converted into energy, and the remaining 47 gets recycled. So you can change the slide. Unique and eco-friendly method of recycle and reuse of solid waste. Sweden recycles an outstanding 99% of locally produced waste. It means the country is by far the best in the world when it comes to recycling and reusing waste, having made great progress in its recycling revolution over the past 2 decades. The percentage of recycled waste by household has increased from 38% in 1975 to at least 99% today. So in 2001, 22% of rubbish was landfilled in Sweden. However, today, the landfill share is only 1% of the total produced. So you can change the slide. Okay, so from here, the color-coded garbage bins are introduced. So you can change the slide. Pink bins. So it means that this bin is used for container, cardboard, hard paper, newspaper. This is the container for both hard and soft plastic. So you can change. Thank you, sir. Orange bin. Orange bin, this is a container for paper materials. Yellow bin. Yellow bin, this is the container bin for plastic or plastic materials, for example, bottles, cans, plastic, utensils, etc. Then the blue bin. This is the container bin. This is the container or bin for glass and glass material. Now the green bin. This is the container bin for the metal things. So thank you. This is for the data. And now let us come to the comparison data of Sweden.
Sasha, that is not with me actually. So if you
Yes,
have, you can
sir. So,
continue with sharing the screen.
yes, sir. I'm just sharing.
You
So, is it
can
visible?
continue without sharing also, no problem. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, it is visible.
So, I can continue without sharing. Over
Okay,
to
no
you,
problem.
Siddesh.
Comparison between Sweden and India. Sweden is very good at recycling because he converts
Excuse me.
garbage.
Yes. Sorry to interrupt you. Are you able to share that one?
Yes, sir.
Are you doing so?
Yes, sir. I'm doing.
Satya, can you send me in my WhatsApp number the same PPT?
Yes, sir.
Sir, is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is. You can continue.
Comparison between Sweden and India. Sweden is very good at recycling because he converts garbage into energy. India didn't do,
Wait,
but in many cities of India, the waste that is generated is just recklessly dumped in most cases. Some is dumped on the streets and some is dumped in landfills that are not properly managed, and this ends up polluting the air, solid and underground. In India, in some places, they dump the garbage, so that's not good. That's why in India, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is going on. But in Sweden, this doesn't happen. People throw it in garbage bins only and other household in some machines. Sweden converts 50% of its municipal solid waste into energy, and less than 1% of it ends up in a landfill. In India, most municipal solid waste ends up in landfills where it pollutes surrounding soil and groundwater with toxins. While in Sweden, the 53% of energy produced in is used as vehicular fuel. In India, we mostly squander away energy generated from solid waste through open air exposure by letting our garbage rot away in the open. The biggest differentiator though is that unlike India, Sweden has a cohesive recycling policy that includes prevention, reuse, recycling alternatives, and lastly, disposal. This ensures that the recycling system is so efficient that only 1% of its household waste actually goes to the landfills. Private companies in Sweden undertake the task of importing and burning waste, and all the energy that is generated from the waste then goes into the country's heating network that heats people's homes in the cold weather. Many bodies like GIREM for restructuring environment and management have in fact have recommended Indian cities like Bangalore, which has been dealing with huge problems of garbage disposal, use Swedish incinerator technology to not only provide lighting to at least 6,500 apartments in the city, but also process tons of garbage in a day. Bangalore is facing a huge crisis when it comes to garbage disposal, and the civic bodies have been at a loss of what to do because the sheer amount of waste generated every day. In Delhi, the situation isn't much better, and three of Delhi's four landfills are already overdue for closure. And India has a little or no vision when it comes to a waste management, which is sad because as the world's second largest population of humans and the largest population of cattle, the country has immense potential when it comes to efficient waste to energy generation. We in India can only hope for our government to take a leaf from Sweden's success and replicate some of else Sweden can always count on India for its garbage fix. We surely have a lot of it to spare. Question is, will they be interested in importing our garbage? Thank you.
Thank you, Siddesh. Very nice. You and your team has done lots of effort to collect these all informations. You have tried to include some information related to India also that are very good. And finally, I just request Paul also that all the three countries, the Germany, Mexico, Sweden, has compared their waste management process with respect to India. So I request Paul, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible, Paul? Okay. So Paul, please include few very interesting points which are going on in India about the waste management process. So over to you, Paul.
Yes.
Are you sharing your screen?
Yes, sir. I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Pearl Ashok, and today I'm going to represent the India group. The topic is the recycle and reuse, the key to survival.
You can maximize your slide, Paul. This is the last group what we are listening. So I request Paul to elaborate all the points what you have included, okay? And try to resolve some of the
Yes, sir.
problem which we have seen in other countries also, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right,
About
Paul.
India. India. Officially, the Republic of India is a country in South Asia. It is the second most populous country, the seventh largest country by land area, and the most populous democracy in the world. Solid waste management has emerged as one of the most massive development challenges in urban India. Numerous studies indicate that the unsafe disposal of waste generates dangerous gases and leaches due to microbial decomposition, climate conditions, refuse characteristics, and landfilling operations. The material recovery facilitates or secondary storage facilities with sufficient space for sorting of recyclable materials to enable informal or authorized waste pickers and waste collectors to separate recyclables from the waste and provide easy access to waste management. Waste management in this vast land with a wider diversity is a challenge. Waste management. Solid waste management is a major problem in India. According to official estimations, around 62 million tons of solid waste is generated in the country annually. Recently, the collapse of a Great Wall of Garbage in East Delhi's Ghaziapur area served a reminder to the authorities as well as the citizens about India's neglected waste management crisis. New Delhi generates more than 10,000 tons of garbage on a daily basis. posing public safety hazard, particularly in the dumping sites. The dump sites in most Indian cities are presently overburdened. Recycling in India. In India, 70% of plastic waste is recycled at registered offices, 20% by the unorganized sector, and 10% is reused at home. 50% of plastic is single-use or throw plastic. Out of all the plastic bottles produced, only 27% are recycled. When compared to incinerating plastic waste, recycling saves up to as much energy. Electronic waste or e-waste purchased, disposed of electrical or electronic gadgets, utilized hardware which are bond of reuse, resale, rescue, reusing, or transfer are additionally considered as e-waste. Casual handling of electronic waste is in creating nations may bring about genuine well-being and contamination issues as these nations have restricted administrative oversight of e-waste preparing. Types of waste generated by India and short descriptions about the waste category and definition as per Indian legislation. The waste categories are solid waste, the hazardous waste, biomedical waste, electrical waste, plastic waste, and the battery waste. The solid waste is the unwanted garbage that is generated due to the agriculture, industrial, medical, and household and such other activities. Any waste which by reason of characteristics such as physical, chemical, biological, reactive, toxic, etc. This hazardous industrial waste are brought into India from foreign countries for recycling and reprocessing. Biomedical waste. Any waste generated during the diagnosis, treatment, or immunization of human beings or animals or in research activities pertaining or in the production of testing or biological. The electric waste. Electrical and the electronic equipment, whole or in part discarded are as waste by the consumer or bulk consumer, as well as rejects from manufacturing, refurbishing, and repair process. Plastic waste. Any plastic discarded after use or after their intended use is over. Battery waste. Used lead acid batteries after their intended is over. The composition of MSW in India. Biodegradable 51%, plastic 10%, paper 7%, and 32% other. Amount of each type of waste produced per annum. According to the Press Information Bureau, India generates 62 million tons of waste, mixed waste containing both recyclable and non-recyclable waste, every year with an average annual growth rate of 4%. The organic waste, the recycled waste, and the hazardous waste. Amount of solid waste recycled per annum. Each year, we use 25 billion plastic containers, 30 billion bottles and jars, 65 million aluminium cans, 100 billion pounds of paper. Alternative estimates for MSW generation. In the year 2013 to 14, the annual generation was 62 million tons. In the year 2014 to 15, the annual generation was 52 million tons. For the first estimate, it was 64. The annual generation was 64 million tons, and in the second estimate, it was 72 annual generation. Amount of solid waste reused per annum: 77% of waste is disposed in open dumps, 18% is compost, and just 5% is recycled.
Paul,
Person
I
is
think
not
your
audible.
voice is, yeah.
Paul, you are not audible.
Paul, try to re-share your screen, beta. Am I audible, Paul?
Sir, I think you have lost the connection.
Yes.
Okay. We'll wait for a few minutes. Am I audible, Paul? Can anybody contact her?
Sir, we have Pretty here, so we can ask her for that.
Yeah, Pretty. Am I audible to you? Who is there from India group?
Kritat.
Just a moment. Please, Chaitanya, call her.
Okay, sir.
So everybody, I think you all have collected very nice information related to all your country allotted. What I can say that yes, some of the challenges are there for the India because of the population, but in India also some of the very unique methodology has adopted to control the solid waste, isn't it? You can think about the Swachh Bharat mission. All the peoples are aware about it, and it has aware the people about the solid waste, isn't it? More audible?
Yes, sir.
As long as it's my belief that as long as we will treat the waste as the waste, it will be a kind of problem for us always, isn't it? But once we
Yes.
will try to assume that the waste is nothing, but it is a kind of resource for us, and we can develop some of the, we can create some of the new product from the waste, then you can say we can manage the waste somehow, isn't it? Our waste will be turned into the fruitful products, isn't it? So always treat the waste as the resource, not as the waste. Okay. So that practice will, you can say, the enhance you to, or maybe it will motivate you to generate very less amount of the trash, or you can say the scrap. Okay. So Pearl, am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are all.
Okay, so are you going to continue?
Yes, sir, I'll present.
Okay, okay, so let me make you the presenter. You can share your screen, beta. You can continue.
Yes.
Try to summarize all the slides, okay? Okay.
I think my screen is visible, right?
No,
Maybe
your
it is
logo is
uploading.
visible.
Or if you allow me to share your slides, I have your slides. You can continue from there.
Yes, sir. Method adopted to recycle and reuse the different types of waste. The first method is composting, the manure pits, and the viewer. I'll be describing short of what is composting. It is the process of nature whereby organic matter breaks down under the bacterial action, resulting in the formation of relatively stable humus-like material called the compost, which has considerable manure value for the soil. The principal
Excuse me, Paul.
byproducts are carbon dioxide, water.
Sir, we
Yes,
cannot
sir.
see your screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excuse me, Paul.
Yeah,
Paul, am I
yes, sir.
audible to you? You just stop sharing your screen
Yes,
so
sir.
that I can say, I can share your PPT. Now it is visible also. I think it is visible to all.
Yes, sir, we can see that.
All right, Paul,
No,
you
sir,
can
for
continue.
me it is not visible.
Now it has stopped.
Yes, sir. I'm going to continue.
Just a moment,
Sir,
Paul.
I'm
Just a
going to
moment.
continue.
Okay, no problem. You can carry on.
Yeah. The for the production dioxide, water, and heat. A heat produced during composting is 60 degrees Celsius or higher. Over a period of several days, spores, eggs, and larvae of flies, wheat seeds, and pathogens. The end product compost contains few or no diseases producing organisms and is a good soil filter containing small amounts of the major plant nutrients such as nitrates and phosphates. The following methods of composting are now used. The first is the Bangalore Method and the second is mechanical method. The Bangalore Method of composting was first developed in India in 1939. It has been recommended as a satisfactory disposal of town waste and night soil. It is also called the hot fermentation process. Trenches are dug 3 feet deep, 8 to 8 meters broad, and 15 to 30 feet long. It should be located 800. It is located 800 meters away from the city limits. The manure pits. Manure pits is the best method of refuse disposal by individual householders. The garbage, the cattle dung, straws, and leaves should be dumped into the manure pits. 2 such pits will be needed. When one is closed, the other will be in use. In 5 to 6 months' time, the refuse is converted into manure, which can be returned to the field. This method's refuse disposal is effective and relatively simple in rural communities. The bureau. This method is suitable for small camps. A trench 1.5 meter wide and 2 meter deep is excavated, and at the end of each day, the refuse is covered with 20 to 30 centimeter earth. Now, I'll be describing the Swachh Bharat mission. The Swachh Bharat mission. Goal has needed 24. Goal has committed 24%. Goal has committed 24% of the total cost of 62,000 crore for the mission. From to state governments, URBs, surcharges, and unlocking land value. These are the areas where JNNURM fails. The mission is mostly targeted towards making cities open defecation-free, building community toilets, and generating awareness on SNW. attention on collection and transportation, resource recovery, safe disposal has been ignored. Now, coming to the color-coded dustbins, there are basically waste. The blue color stands for the paper waste, and the black color stands for the general waste. Now, finally, in conclusion, waste management is an important issue that needs governmental action quickly. At present, there is very little awareness exists regarding this issue in our society. The practices of bringing forth waste are too risky, not only for today, but they could be dangerous for our future generation. Thank you, Dhanya.
So thank you very much, all the team leader. And Anay, I think you should stop sharing your video, or either you can focus to yourself. I would like to request all of you to share your video if it is possible.
Yes, sir, I'm sharing. Just a minute.
Yes.
Okay. So I just wanted to finally conclude all this activity, that it was a very nice activity done by you, and you have put lots of effort to collect all these very unique data. Okay, and my congratulations to all team and the team leader. Okay, you have done a great job, and very nicely you have represented all your information what you have collected. Try to implement that information in your day-to-day life. Try to focus on that information what you have collected. Okay, and try to consider the waste as the resource, not as the waste. Okay, and that this point will only this point will develop you in such a way where you will think before throw. Okay, so please be careful about your nature. Thank you very much for participating on this activity. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.